a quad-core PowerVR GX 6450 GPU, 1GB of RAM, and a 2915 mAh battery. There's no denying the marginal update in specifications when compared to previous generation iOS devices, but that doesn't mean that there's a huge performance gap between the iPhone 6 Plus and the Galaxy Note 4. As for the Note 4's specifications, we have a 5.7-inch QHD Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 2560 by 1440 coming in at 515 pixels per inch. We have a quad-core 2.7 GHz Snapdragon 805 processor, an Adreno 420 GPU, 3GB of RAM, and a 3220 mAh battery. On paper, it would seem that the Note 4 is miles faster than the iPhone 6 Plus. Every single detail on that spec sheet points to a better device, but as real-world usage will show you, that's not always the case. Either way, your preference will probably be based on the overall ecosystem and each device's features and functionality. Samsung has taken an entirely different design approach this time around. The Galaxy Note 4's sleek metal frame feels great in the hand, and it's definitely a step up compared to the Galaxy Note 3, but we're still left with some plastic elements such as the back cover, which hides the battery, micro SIM card, and micro SD card slot. As far as layout goes, the front of the Note 4 features an earpiece, the appropriate sensors, a 3.7 megapixel front-facing camera, capacitive navigation buttons, and a home button with a built-in fingerprint scanner. On the left side of the Note 4, you'll find its color-matched volume rocker, while the right side is home to the power button, and on the top of the device we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, IR blaster, and a small microphone. Coming around to the bottom, we have a pair of microphones, micro USB charging port, and the S Pen. And finally, on the back side, you'll find a 16 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, LED flash, heart rate sensor, and a small speaker. Moving over to Apple's iPhone 6 Plus, on the front side you'll find an earpiece, sensors, a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, and the circular home button with a built-in fingerprint scanner that Apple calls Touch ID. On the right side we have a sleep-wake power button and its nano SIM card tray, while the left side features its volume buttons and a mute switch. You won't find anything on the top of the iPhone 6 Plus, but the bottom features a microphone, 3.5mm headphone jack, lightning port for charging, and a small speaker. Lastly, on the back we have an 8 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization and dual LED flash, which is capable of shooting up to 1080p video at 30 or 60 frames per second and up to 240 frames per second at 720p. Both devices feature NFC, but Apple is taking advantage of this with a new mobile payment platform called Apple Pay, which may prove to be useful for iPhone 6 and 6 Plus users. This isn't the first mobile payment platform to hit the market, but it may be the first one to catch on. Unfortunately, we won't know for sure until about a year or so has passed. Obviously, there's going to be a big difference between the user experience and features on each device. With the iPhone 6 Plus, we're running iOS 8, which is a very simplistic experience overall. Apple keeps iOS fine-tuned and under control for the most part, but that's not always a good thing for everyone. To make it simple, iOS is going to offer the same experience on the iPhone 6 Plus as it does on the iPhone 6 and for the most part iPhone 5S. I'm not going to get in depth with the features that iOS 8 brings to the table, but if you'd like to find out more about them, check out the video I've linked below. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, you're getting a very specific set of features that will only apply to the Note line of smartphones. While these features won't be for everyone, Samsung's S Pen will provide an experience like no other smartphone out there, but only if you're going to take advantage of it. I've detailed all of the new S Pen features in my Galaxy Note 4 versus Galaxy Note 3 video, and if you'd like to find out more, I'll leave that link down below. Either way, the main advantage to having a Galaxy Note is going to be the S Pen and the large display. Another advantage to the Note series is the ability to multitask and have multiple app windows open at once, or you can stack them on top of one another for a split screen experience. At the end of the day, the S Pen, new metal frame design, and its 5.7-inch QHD display will be the deciding factors when purchasing a Galaxy Note 4. Do you care about all of these features? Let me know with a comment down below. It's almost expected that you're going to use the Galaxy Note 4 with two hands. This is a very large device and essentially comes with a stylus. If you're looking for a smartphone that can easily be used with one hand, you won't enjoy the Note 4. At the same time, you may experience the same issue with the iPhone 6 Plus. Apple would like you to believe that everything can be done on the 6 Plus with the combination of one hand and its reachability feature, though that's not always true. With a double tap of the home button, iOS will slide the user interface down to the middle of the screen to make the top half of its elements accessible. It's a handy feature in some cases, but usually you're better off just using two hands with the iPhone 6 Plus. Moving along along to camera quality, more megapixels does not equal superior picture quality. Both cameras feature optical image stabilization, but Samsung's Galaxy Note 4 has a 16 megapixel sensor, while the iPhone 6 Plus comes in with half the specs at just 8 megapixels. Let's be honest here, both of these cameras take excellent pictures, and it'll be hard for most consumers to tell the difference between each camera in acceptable lighting. The optical image stabilization on both devices helps keep pictures crisp and clean, but you may find that colors slightly vary between the two. As for video, the iPhone 6 Plus shoots 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second, and as I've demonstrated in a cinematic camera test, it's capable of some fantastic quality. With the Galaxy Note 4, you're getting up to UHD
and a 2.6 of an inch sensor size at 1.12 microns pixel size. You've also got a standard LED flash on the back. It has the ability to record 4K video and also slow motion at 720p at 120 frames per second. On the front, you've got a 2 megapixel camera with the ability to record full HD video at 30 frames per second. So on the spec side of things, the Samsung Galaxy S5 definitely shines, so let's see how these two cameras stack up. So from looking at these photo and video clips, I would say that both of them did a very good job. In many cases, the Samsung Galaxy S5 was able to kind of bring out the sharpness, of course with a 16 megapixel sensor, and then in many pictures you could almost not tell the difference within each other, aside from the framing where the Samsung Galaxy S5 captures a little bit of a wider image. But in terms of the color representation, both of them were extremely close, and the iPhone 6 I would say comes out slightly on top in terms of consistency. In terms of video, the Samsung Galaxy S5 of course wins in terms of the sharpness since it is able to record beautiful 4K video, and in the first shot I would say the Samsung Galaxy S5 had the better image quality, but in the second shot I would say that the iPhone 6 came out on top as the greens and everything just seem better handled in the colors. Before we head out, let's take one last look at our sponsor. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website, online portfolio, or online store. It features a simple and easy interface, beautiful design, responsive design, drag and drop content, and